Top of the afternoon to you all. Hi, everybody. Hi. I feel like I haven't seen you guys in so long. Hi, everybody. I'm really glad to see all of you. Hello, 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 hello. Well, what have you guys been up to? I know we've got some catching up to do and some amazing guests coming into the building today. We've got a great lineup for you, as you know, we always try to do for you. But first, of course, wanted to just touch base and just say hi. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're getting some great weather where you are. San Diego, hello. I'm sure you're getting some nice weather. Thank you, everybody, for congratulating me on the new show, the Netflix series, The Upshaws. We are just ecstatic, just thrilled about it. So, hello. I see you just said you just got through working with me. So, hi, 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 everybody. Hello. So, again, these conversations are brought to you by Refresh by KF, which is my lifestyle brand. Woohoo! And so, if you don't follow us and you're not subscribing to our website and getting all the wonderful things that we have for you there, please do jump out, follow Refresh by KF, and jump back on in, especially today. Ooh, you are not going to want to miss not only this conversation, hey, Long Island, but you also, bonjour, but you also want to make sure that you are listening in today because we've got some info for you for a giveaway. Oh, while everybody is slowly opening back up and getting the what do you call it, the travel arrangements in play and everything, we've got something incredibly special. And when I tell y'all this is massive, because you know I don't play, if I'm gonna give you something, I'm gonna just bring the thunder. And so we want to make sure that you are following Refresh by KF, that you subscribe, and that you are a member of all that we are doing, because we do it for you. It is my lifestyle brand for wealth. Wealth, health, and wellness. And so we want to make sure that you guys are a part of that. So today's conversation, it's like Yoda, there is no try, there is do. Okay. And so what we do here every third and fourth Saturday of the month is we bring you some live conversations. I'm coming, Kat. I see you. I'm going to invite you in. And so we have some great conversations lined up for you for today. If you've missed any, they're on my page. They are also on Refresh by KF on our YouTube channel. And so you can see all the conversations there. We've been going for almost a year now. It's been really exciting. And I really sincerely appreciate how much you guys are enjoying these and that you're getting so much out of them. So first and foremost, today we've got two wonderful, amazing women. They are my sister friends. And funny enough, they have a picture together without me. I'm sure that I took the photo. I'll post it later on my story. But we've got Katrina Adams and Cybelle Brown coming into the building. This is Katrina's new book. Oh, I can't stand when Instagram does that part. It's called Own the Arena. Okay. And Katrina is, oh my goodness, y'all. She is a tennis icon. She is an amazing human being as well. And I can attest to that. She and I have been friends for about 200 years. But we want to
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you either.
Can't
I
hear
can
me.
barely hear you. Can you hear me now?
No, I can't hear you yet. Oh, I'm just taking two photos of us.
Can you hear me?
Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me turn off my earpiece. Don't go away.
Okay. Hi, that's much better.
Yeah. Hi,
How,
sis. How
how
you
are you?
doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Oh, look at you. Hi.
Hi! I know it's been way too long, way too long.
I know, right? I know.
Yeah.
I know. Congrats on this.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're amazing.
Trying to be like you, little sis.
Whatever. So, I have a quick story. So, Katrina and I met, okay, not literally, obviously, 200 years ago, because we both are too gorgeous and young looking for that foolishness. But Kat and I met, was it at Zena's actual gala event or at her house?
At the house before the event.
Okay, so Zena Garrison, another tennis icon, and a former, Katrina and Zena used to be doubles partners in the tennis world. And they had a tremendous streak going and inspired so many people, not just people of color and not just females, but they were just a really strong team, as well as what they were doing on the court individually. I would love to go and see them play and just, I mean, they would crush the court. Ooh. And so Zena, one of the quotes that I like that you shared in your book, Kat, is one of the greats of athleticism, certainly. Althea Gibson, you said to Zena once, she needed to work on her serve and do better. And Z thought that she meant, the what? That way. Did you like that? Hey now.
Yeah, it was good form, good form. We need a few more lessons though. It's all good.
I think my last one was with you. And
Whew.
so, yeah, and that was like 92. I think I was still doing Living Single. But anyway, but what Miss Gibson was telling her was her service. And it really resonated with Zena. And so Zena ended up starting a foundation and doing a whole lot in her community in Houston and then beyond. And so at this gala that I was invited to, I met Katrina there and a wonderful journalist, sports journalist named Kim Davis. And I'm going to say it because you conveniently didn't put it up in this one right here. But we had a little group called the Funky Divas.
Yeah, that was the name of it. Gosh darn it. That was it. That was it.
So, Kat, what was your motivation? It's called Own the Arena. Getting ahead, making a difference, and succeeding as the only one. And I think that resonates with all of us because there are many times where we feel like we're in it by ourselves. Even when you have a great village, sometimes you still feel by yourself. And what I love is that even if you're not a tennis aficionado, you still really enjoy Kat's book and the analogies that she brings to the party. And especially the idea of, as a tennis player, it's really all on you. There's no team in terms of on the court. Yes, you've got your support, your coaches and your family and all of that. So where did this come from within you and why now?
Yeah, it's very interesting, Kim, because I never wanted to write a book, but I had so many people that said that I needed to write a book, that I had so much to share and so much to tell. And the name really came from people saying, Kat, when you walk into a room, you own it. I've never seen you
Baby.
not own a room that you didn't walk into. And so that was really kind of how the title came about. And my publisher, HarperCollins from the Amistad Books imprint, said, no, you're bigger than a room. You're an arena. And I was like, ooh, I like that. And so it was really about making people feel, your arena is what you make of it. It could be your living room, it could be your office, it could be your closet, it could be anything that you make of it. And it's really wanted to share my experiences that I learned and lived through the life skills that I've learned in the sport of tennis that really prepared me for every stage of my life and continues to prepare me for these moments. So that's where it came from.
Well, I can definitely testify and be the amen corner that when Kat Adams hits the room, there is all the ownership goes right there. And that's from somebody who, I understand that. I'm an observer. I like to just kind of watch the room. You know what I mean? And so Kat has this level of um, authority. She owns, your publisher couldn't have said it better, that you're bigger than a room. And of course, the double entendre with arena for you being life. But Kat walks in her own ownership of every breath that she takes.
Okay, if you say so. But you know what? Listen, I do walk in. When I walk into a room, I do start on the outskirts. I'll go over to the corner, I'll go to the bar or whatever's there and kind of survey the room
Mm-hmm.
so that I can get a feel for who's in the room. I
Mm-hmm.
typically try to know who's in the room before I go in.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I get a little comfortable, it only takes a couple minutes,
Yeah.
then I forge myself forward and insert myself to the middle of the room.
Right.
And because I want to know people. I want to know why they're there. I want to know
Mm-hmm.
how they empower me, and hopefully I want to know if I'm empowering them in any capacity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Got you. Got you. And yes, that's your perspective. But as somebody who has been on the other side of that perspective, I appreciate that's your strategy. You know what I mean? But even when you walk in, whether it's to a room, to an arena, to life, and you have that sentiment that even logistically speaking, and strategically speaking, I'm on the perimeter before I just dive in. Yes, that's how you operate, but just know for the rest of us, it's an immediate. There's been a shift in the atmosphere. Okay, she not used to
In a
all these
positive way.
compliments. She not used to all these compliments. So now, guys, I want to. There's a few. Kat is a gem dropper. Okay, that's why we kept all telling her for decades, you really need to write a book. But listen to the just the name of the chapters. Okay, Center Court. All eyes on me. Believe in yourself when no one else does. Evening the score. A good loss. What? A good loss. This right here almost put me in the ground. This one. Listen to this right here. Listen to this right here. Baby woman. Baby woman. What? Baby woman. Baby woman. Because that's all of us. This is Women's History Month, and we are so blessed to have so many different trailblazers from around the world who inspire us. But at the end of the day, even the baddest bitch, even the strongest, we still are that kid, that little girl, that baby. And we can lean it, and we're women enough to lean into our vulnerability, and
Exactly.
smart enough to show the right people and keep it away from the wrong people. These titles: No Woman is an Island, Home Court, Respect, Reflect, and Represent. Twice as good. Reach back, pull forward. The next win. Baby, them table of contents right
Boom.
there. But just look right here, dropping the whole thing. Okay? I mean, that's a mic drop for you. So, how did you start the process? Were you trying to write a memoir? Were you trying to write were you trying to write an inspirational book, and that just kind of was the byproduct? Where were you with that?
Yeah, it definitely was not meant to be a memoir. It was written to be a leadership book. And
Mm-hmm.
part of telling that story of progression and ascension, I had to do somewhat of a memoir to kind of bring you forward. And
Mm-hmm.
so if you notice in each chapter, there's always a present story, a more current story, and
Mm-hmm.
then I reflect back on
Mm-hmm.
all the lessons that I've learned that have prepared me for these individual moments in my
Mm-hmm.
life and in my career. So it's really a book where everyone can see themselves in it at some
Yeah.
point, understand a story, something that really resonates with them, And hopefully it's for men and women and of all ages, because I think there's a lot to learn in there. So when
Mm-hmm.
you talk about the memoir part, yeah, it was, and Kim, you know me, I'm a very private person,
Oh yeah.
but I actually divulged some private things that no
Mm-hmm.
one really knows about me in there,
Mm-hmm.
and why, a lot of experiences that we have really make up who we are today,
Yeah.
and why we handle different things in a certain way. And so, it was a moment for me to kind of say, okay, let me share a little bit more of myself than the world,
Mm-hmm.
because people can see me, but they don't really know me. And so I was able to share the no in
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these stories
Mm-hmm.
to get them to where they actually see me,
Yeah.
and understand that, and hopefully where people can overcome some of their own challenges,
Mm-hmm.
that may be holding them back from breaking through that door, or getting their foot in that door
Yeah.
to go to the next level and be the natural born leader that they were meant to
Mm-hmm.
be. But so many obstacles are in our ways, and experiences that we've had as young people, that hold us back from believing that we can be of a certain level, or be a leader of a certain group. And
Mm-hmm.
so my hope is that people are able to own their courage,
Mm.
and be bold of all things. And that
Yeah.
means just stepping outside of the box a little bit.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean just go full force, but if
Mm-hmm.
you step outside of your own little circle, your own little box, just for 1 second,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see that there's a whole new world out there for you.
Remember when I did Dancing with the Stars and you guys were so supportive? And one of my mantras in that was this quote that says, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. And
That's
that
true.
was really true for me in those moments. And it feels like that's what you're saying there. So, guys, this is Katrina Adams, Kat Adams. Her new book is called Own the Arena. So, Kat, on page 205, and
Hmm.
I don't act like this is a textbook,
I
y'all.
love it. I love it.
So, and people have often said that sports is just whatever the sport is, just sports overall is such a great springboard into life and a great backdrop, and foundation really in terms of life and life moments and things like that. So, here's a moment that I read in the book that I thought, that's one of those gems where yes, it's applicable in sports, but also in life. Showing respect for your opponent is tantamount to having respect for the game itself. Now, to me, in that moment, we're going to talk about the game of life. Okay. If the person you are playing against didn't train and fight just as hard as you, the quality of the match would be diminished. You are not just battling each other to win. Ha! You're pushing each other to learn, grow, and be better.
Absolutely.
A handshake is thanking them for the opportunity to do what you love most. I love that perspective of people that we have a tendency to think of as an opponent, an adversary, a co-worker, a neighbor, a church member, anything that's still in your sphere that you have to have that sense of, like you said, respect and realizing, here it is again, guys, you're not just battling each other to win, you're pushing each other to learn, grow, and be better. Where did that
Absolutely.
come from for you? Those are
Well,
your
I
words.
yeah, no, they are, it's a matter of, tennis is typically one on one. And again, look, I want to win just as bad as the next person.
Hmm.
But I've had those wins where I was either just, above and beyond the level of my opponent. I've had those wins where we were equal and I had the better day. I've had
Mm-hmm.
those wins where I might have been a little lower than my opponent, but had the win. And it depends on how they perform that day. You want to win your matches knowing that you played your best match against your best opponent, because that's where you learn and grow. When you're winning just by people handing it to you, you don't win. You don't learn anything from that.
Yeah.
Same thing in life. So,
Mm-hmm.
when we have our contracts and our deals that we're trying to get, you want to know that I am moving ahead with the best person on the other side of the table, because that's a reflection of who I am. It's a reflection of my skill, of my knowledge, of my
Yeah.
talent, whatever it is. And you walk out of that room standing tall and say, yes, I got that. I did that.
Yeah.
As opposed to someone just not showing up that day and says, okay, no problem. Because how do
Mm.
you really feel? You're excited. Yeah, I got the win. I
Mm-hmm.
got the deal. I got the role. I got this.
Mm-hmm.
But you know that it means that much more when two people have come. And during COVID, we're not shaking hands anymore. We got the elbow and we got
Mm-hmm.
the fist bump, whatever that
Mm-hmm.
might be. But it's also respecting each other
Yeah.
from the start of the conversation, and not just when the deal is done.
With that, you go on right in the next, see right here, y'all, right here, when you get your Katrina Adams book, it says the point is to acknowledge your opponent in recognition of a battle just fought. Acknowledge your opponent in recognition of the battle. That right there, that's a word amongst many words in this. Okay, I'm gonna jump over to 221. Oh no, I covered that one. That was the Xena and Serve. Here was the thing that just right here, page 253, family. You must be honest with yourself and ask if you still feel as passionate about your doing when you did earlier in your career.
Yeah, because we lose passion for our own professions later in life. And if you don't have that passion later on, then you have to question yourself why. Because when we go into a career path, into a role, into a job, we are gung ho and want to learn and immerse ourselves so much and really fill our brains with the knowledge, the forthcoming, for us to be better and to be the leaders in that space. But too often, as we move forward, and particularly in an athlete's life, for me, I knew it was time to retire when losing didn't matter anymore, when losing didn't hurt. If
Ah,
I came off the court and
uh-huh,
I wasn't
uh-huh.
pissed off about that loss, then I knew I was done. Because I,
Mm,
I was a person that hated to lose a point. And when I came off and I had lost the match, and I'm talking about where we going for dinner and what bottle of wine I was going to order in that country, then I was like, you know what? Maybe I just don't have it anymore. But that's a recognition that oneself has to recognize and
mm-hmm,
feel, because we all talk about athletes in particular of staying in the game too long and well beyond their years.
mm-hmm,
But you can't judge the athlete if you don't know them. If
mm-hmm.
they're still pissed off about that loss, then they
Yes.
still have the passion to continue to compete and get better.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing in business,
Okay, go ahead.
right? If you don't get a certain role, let's say you're an actress, an actor, if you don't get that role and you're not pissed off about it, then you have to question yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do I still want to do this anymore? Or was that a role that I really felt that I could immerse myself in?
Yeah.
If it's a contract that you didn't get
Mm-hmm.
and you're not pissed off that you didn't get that contract or your team didn't accomplish it, then you have to question yourself. Is this the space that I still belong in? And
Mm-hmm.
so that's where I challenge my readers and my viewers every single day. Bring
Yeah.
your best self forward every day.
Mm.
And it's okay to be hurt or feel that pain after not getting the win, because that
Mm-hmm.
means that you're still passionate about it.
Yeah, yeah. You still have the fire in your belly. That's
Absolutely.
that's that's a gut check that I do on a regular. As somebody who's been blessed to be in this thing for over 40 years, being able to still check and go, do I still want this? And exactly, there are telltale signs, like you said. If it doesn't go the way that you want it, how does that register with you?
Right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So the last quote for right now that I'm gonna bring up, when you transitioned into commentating and being a sports analysis and a tennis analyst, and you were talking with one of the networks that was in negotiations with you, and you said, you need me more than I need you. And then she says, they bought it.
Girl, you know
And
I
that's
was
how,
lying. You know I wasn't
yeah.
telling the truth. You know I needed that job. I needed that.
But that's exactly what I wanted to ask you about. You know, that sense of how do you do that? How do you get there? You know what I mean? For you, because I think every one of us has it differently. But for somebody who is looking at either, again, if they're doing a gut check to see, you know, if the fire's in their belly still, if whether they are an OG in their career or job, or they're just starting out and it's like, oh, this ain't what I thought, that sort of thing. How was that for you to then, you know, transition with that thing of, you know, wherever I'm going, they need me more than I need them, because that's such a great perspective, because then you don't come across as desperate, and in the streets they call it thirsty.
Right. You know, for me, it's a sense of me being confident in my own talent and wherever I go and my own knowledge and what I know I can bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
In that particular instance, um, it was a new channel. It hadn't even come online yet. It was coming online, and 3 or 4 months later.
Mm-hmm.
And Venus and Serena were number 1 and 2 in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and they needed someone in the booth that could really parlay what they may have been thinking in that moment, or what experiences propelled them to where they were, and
Mm-hmm.
someone that could actually talk from knowledge.
Yeah.
Well, if you didn't look like them, you couldn't really speak from
Mm-hmm.
experience. And
Mm-hmm.
so growing up on the west side of Chicago, they grew up in Compton. I understood the environment that they came from. I understood the mentality that they had. I understood the hard knocks that they faced.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my way of letting the network know, you know what, you really do need me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was friends with them, so I knew I could get certain interviews that maybe other networks or other people they would say no to. And
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of how I sold it. And once I
Mm-hmm.
got in there, then it was up to me to actually make it happen.
Yeah.
And it took some while for me to get experience and gain that knowledge, but I was able to bring that to the table, to the
Mm-hmm.
forefront immediately,
Mm-hmm.
because the very first event we did was Fed Cup, which was the U.S. versus the Czech Republic, and I had to go down and do those on-court interviews. So right off the bat, that was
Yeah.
there. But in any situation, for me, if it's something that I'm passionate about and I really feel that I can get the job done,
Mm-hmm.
it's an approach to say, yeah, you really do need me because I
Yeah.
can make this happen. And
Yes.
that's just and not everybody has that confidence, has that self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have that. But once I get my foot in the door, then it's up to me to actually prove it.
Yeah.
And that's where the hard work really comes in.
Now, when you talk about you have that confidence and knowing, you know, who your village is, you know, how the cornerstones of your village, you know, and I know mom and dad have transitioned on, and what that process was for you as well. But the cornerstones in your village beyond us as your family. But I mean, Katrina was the president of the USTA. And if I'm not mistaken, because I'm always messing up my friends' resumes, I'm like, well, you were the president for 12 years, right? And she's like, no. So
No, I
can you
had two
share?
terms.
Can
I
you
had two
share
terms.
your? Can you share your groundbreaking tenure as the president of the United States Tennis Association, please?
Yeah, so I became, that was my title, President, Chairman, and CEO in 2015. And I was the first Black person to hold such title in 135-year history of the organization. And typically that role as president and chairman are only for 2 years. It's one term, 2 years. And I had a second term, which gave me another 2 years, totaling four. So it was a great honor for me to be the leader of the organization, to be the face and the voice of the USTA and for the sport of tennis in America. And, I learned a great deal. I learned, we owned and ran the U.S. Open, which is is really what serves our mission. With the money we make from the U.S. Open serves the mission to promote and grow the development of our sport here in America. And to be a part of that process was a great honor. To be a part of making the strategic vision for the organization was a great honor. And to be able to succeed in a lot of the initiatives that were put forth was a great honor. And so I'm now the vice president of the International Tennis Federation, which is the office is based in London. It is a global organization. And I chair the great committee of the Billie Jean King Cup, which is formerly Fed Cup, as well as the Gender Equality in Tennis Committee. And we have a platform called Advantage All, which really focuses on women in places that they're not in our sport globally, not just in America, because we're doing a really good job here in the U.S. But we want our women on committees, on commissions, on the boards, as CEOs, as officials, etc. And so we have a great platform for that. And I'm proud to be the leader of that. But my passion is about my program in Harlem now. You know that, right?
I was about to bring that up. As Harlem
Go ahead. I'll let you do that.
As Harlem Honey, it is my absolute honor. And I'm tearing up because I'm so proud of you. So tell the people about the program in Harlem, please.
So Harlem Junior Tennis and Education Program, we are in our 49th year of existence, and I've been there for 50. Stop, girl, you're going to make me cry.
I know, I've been there.
I've been there for 15 years.
I know, and you just are so, to see you on the court and then to see you transition. In my world, it's kind of the equivalent of when you incorporate acting and directing, and producing, and you do some of the other things that people may not see, but it's so important for us to be there. Yeah. And you've been doing the damn thing. So
it's about giving back to the community. It's about going in. I was raised in a community like Harlem in Garfield Park in Chicago.
Yep.
And to be able to provide tennis education and wellness for our youth in Harlem. And it's not about being a great tennis player as much as it is providing the skill sets needed to be a champion in life, not just a champion in tennis. And so it is a great honor for me to be a part of that organization, to raise the funds that are necessary to provide free programming or minimal cost programming for our kids, because I know what the sport gave to me. I know what I learned from the sport, and I know where I am. And so for me, it's my duty to reach back and pull the next generation forward. And for 15 years, I've been doing that.
Yes, you have. And as somebody who has been to the events, when I was massively pregnant with Quincy,
just a little bit.
and to be there and to see you in action in that arena, especially for my city and my home. So I know we have our next conversation coming up with Sibel.
Hey, Sibel, I know you're waiting, girl. Miss you. Got to come down and visit.
So, quick backstory for all three of us. When I met Sibel, Katrina and I, she was so nice to go with me, because I was like, sis, come on and go. And she was like, the Caribbean, a free trip?
Okay.
And so we went down to St. Lucia, oh my gosh, over 30 years ago at this point. And it was for the St. Lucia Jazz. And at the time, Sibel was an executive with BET. And so the three of us were there, and oh my gosh, we just had a ball listening to the great music, and Sibel showing us her wonderful, wonderful island and everything. It was fantastic. And so we all have been sister friends ever since, through the highs and the lows of life and everything. So thank you, Kat. I'm proud of you for the history that you have made and that you have continued to make. I could not think of a better time to talk to you and to share with everyone your wonderful book, Own the Arena. Again, Katrina Adams, Cat Adams 68 is her handle. This was my private little note that came with my book. Thank you. And I'm thrilled for you. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Kim, for having me, and keep doing you, Boo. I'm really proud of you and all that you've accomplished and continue to accomplish. Bell, have a great chat. Miss you guys. Tell Charles I said hello.
All right. Girl, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Get out of this room now. Lord, she done messed me up. I done erased the comment that I was supposed to pin to this doggone thing. God dog it. Okay, see, Cat got me all messed up. Okay, everybody, so Bell is next. How do I even get out of here? Lord. Okay, wait a minute. Let me reconstruct myself. See, crying and carrying on. Bell, let me get you in the room. So, guys, you're going to see, it's going to say, oh, hi, Travel St. Lucia. You will see me very, very soon. Guys,